Hey everyone, today we're diving into something that's literally all around us technology. I mean, think about it. The phone you might be watching this on, the cloud where all your photos live, this stuff isn't just cool gadgetry anymore. It's a huge economic engine. So let's unpack that. So here's a thought. Every single time you stream a show, order dinner through an app, or just tap your phone to pay for coffee, you're plugging into this gigantic web of tech companies. But what if all those daily clicks and taps could actually be an investment in your own future? Pretty cool idea, right? And you can really see that transformation happening everywhere. Technology isn't just a handy tool anymore. It's become the actual blueprint for our entire economy. I mean, look at banking, shopping, even healthcare. They're all being completely overhauled with a digital-first mindset. This isn't a small tweak. It's a total rewrite of the rules. All right, so that brings us to the big idea, turning your digital life into an investment. How do you actually get a piece of this tech revolution? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore. So let's talk about the LIC MF Technology Fund. In simple terms, it's an investment fund that's all about putting money into technology companies with the goal of growing that capital over the long run. It's really for people who believe in the future of tech and are willing to stick around to see that potential play out. Now, the tech world can feel, well, huge and complicated, right? So to cut through the noise, this fund has a really clear and easy to remember strategy. It's all built around a simple acronym, T.I.D.E. Okay, let's break it down. We're going to look at exactly what each letter in T.I.D.E. stands for and where the fund is looking for those big growth opportunities. First up, we have T, and that, of course, stands for technology. This is the absolute foundation, the engine room that makes everything else possible. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about the companies that build the essential tools for our digital world. Think about the big IT services giants, the software that every business relies on, and of course, the big ones, cloud computing and AI. You know, when you binge watch a series, you're hitting the cloud. When a company uses a chatbot, that's AI. This is the real core of it all. All right, next up in T.I.D.E. is I, for internets and digital. This is where all that core tech really comes alive and plugs directly into our day-to-day routines. This one's all about how we consume things now. It covers the fintech apps you use for payments, the consumer tech you scroll through every day. Basically, all the platforms that create these huge digital ecosystems where we spend our time and, let's be honest, our money. Okay, the third letter is D, which stands for data centers and ancillary services. Now, this is the part of the digital world that you don't really see, but trust me, it is absolutely essential. Yeah, the best way to think about this is like the plumbing of the internet. It's the physical backbone. Every single email you send, every photo you upload, it all lives in these massive data centers and travels through huge networks. And with everything moving to the cloud, this infrastructure is more important than it has ever been. And that brings us to the last letter E for e-commerce and Q-commerce. You might have heard of Q-commerce. It means quick commerce. This is where the whole T.I.D.E. strategy comes full circle, right back to our shopping carts. This is literally about how we buy things now. Think about ordering groceries and having them show up at your door in like 15 minutes. That's Q-commerce. It's all about the technology that makes that kind of convenience possible. And let's face it, we all love convenience. Okay, so that's the T.I.D.E. strategy in a nutshell. But let's zoom out for a second. Why is a tech-focused fund like this such a big deal right now, especially in the Indian context? Just take a look at these numbers. This chart tells a really powerful story. Even with huge global challenges, think the 2008 financial meltdown or the pandemic, India's IT sector didn't just hang in there, it actually grew stronger. It's been grabbing a bigger and bigger piece of the global pie. That kind of consistent growth is exactly what long-term investors get excited about. And a scale here is just, wow. We're talking about an export market worth more than $225 billion. That is massive. This isn't some small niche industry anymore. It's a global force and a huge part of India's economic story. Okay, I know this all sounds really exciting, but we have to do a reality check. Whenever you hear high growth, you should also hear high risk. So let's be really clear about what you're getting into. So who should be looking at a fund like this? Well, it's really geared towards younger investors or people just starting to build their wealth. Why? Because you've got a longer time horizon to ride out the ups and downs. It's for someone who is okay with taking on more risk for the chance of more reward, and for someone who wants to invest in cutting-edge innovation, not just the same old traditional sectors. And let's not mince words here. The official rating for this fund is very high risk. Technology stocks can be a real roller coaster. They go up, they go down. That's why you probably shouldn't put all your eggs in this one basket. Think of it as the spicy, exciting part of a balanced meal, a great addition to a diversified portfolio, but not the whole meal itself. All right, so let's wrap this up. What's the main takeaway here as you think about your own financial future? At the end of the day, a fund like this is really a bet on the future. It's a way to invest directly in the companies that are building the world we're all going to live in. It's a long-term play on the idea that our lives are only going to get more digital, not less. So that leaves us with one last question to think about. There's no doubt that technology is designing our tomorrow. It's changing literally everything. The only question left is, how are you going to be a part of it?